What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about why I picked up the EOS R in 2020. Let's get into it. So why did I pick this camera up? The EOS R had to be the most controversy camera in 2019 I've ever seen. Some people loved it, some people hated it, some people weren't really sure what to think, and I think I kind of fell in that camp really of not really sure. I hadn't played with it enough. I knew they were holding back, but that's kind of Canon's thing, and I wasn't really sure what to do. The specs didn't impress me. However, I did recently get to collab with Armando when I was in LA not too long ago, and I wound up using the EOS R. If you guys haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. I will link it up here and in the description below. But I wound up using this camera. I had never picked up one before. I knew a lot about Canon. I've had a whole bunch of their DSLRs before, so you kind of have a rough idea. But anytime you pick up a camera that's new to you, you kind of don't really know what to do, and you always have this excitement to get to play with something new, push it to its abilities, see really what it's all about. I have to say, the image off this camera blew me away. It does not match really what the specs says it should. When you look at the specs on paper, it doesn't seem like it should be that impressive, but when you're using it, there's just something about it that looks really freaking good. I've used many cameras that are the exact same way and have been around this industry long enough to know that it really doesn't always come down to the camera body. It sometimes comes down to the lenses. Most of the time it comes down to the lighting. But I've got to say, the image that came out of this camera was just mind-blowing good. It just looked very clean, yet it had this very soft cinematic look to it, and especially when we slapped a Pro Mist filter on the front, oh my god, this camera, it like took it to a whole nother level. Another reason I picked this camera up was price. B&H was running a crazy Black Friday / Christmas price. I mean, absolutely crazy. It dropped down to $14.99, and then people were getting emails that were on the B&H email list that was dropping it to $12.99. That's crazy good, and especially for a camera that's full frame, which I know it's kind of full frame, not really full frame. We'll get to that in a little bit. I'm not naive. I definitely know Canon is bringing new cameras out, which is why they're dropping prices on these, and they did at the time. But for me, I knew whatever they were bringing out next, I didn't really need. I just needed a camera that was going to work. And that brings me to my next point, why I picked this up. It just freaking works. Every Canon DSLR camera, any cinema camera I've used, they just freaking work. They're workhorses, and I love that about them. I have a cinema camera. I have a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. I've got other Ursa Pros that are at disposal to me, but I just needed a camera that was just an all-around, small, sleek, throw in my bag, and it would just work. I really want to get into more vlogs and behind the scenes content, and having a camera like this that's just easy, quick, flip it on, and one battery will last me majority of the day. This is a no-brainer for me. It works for me. Now let's talk about one downside to this camera that a lot of people don't like is the crop factor in 4K, which for me, why I picked it up, it worked out phenomenal. I have a lot of crop sensor lenses that are just sitting collecting dust, or I don't really want to sell them, or I sold my crop sensor cameras and I don't really know what to do, or like I've got the Sigma 18 to 35 on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, and that will also work on here in crop mode. If I'm shooting 4K, I can use those crop sensor lenses. That also means for me that I can slowly start adapting to full frame glass. So then when I'm upgrading the camera body, which I know these don't last forever, they're popping out like candy because that's just what they do, then I'll have full frame glass that I can go into. I haven't ever invested into full frame glass because there's been no need for me to. And this is a very exciting thing for me to be able to kind of have my foot in both sides of the camp, that I can have crop sensor lenses on here and full frame, so I can kind of slowly start picking and choosing what full frame glass I want to buy, and I don't have to drop 10, 20 grand on an arsenal of full frame glass right off the gate. Also, having this adapter to be able to put EF lenses on this camera is amazing. I've already found some really good deals on EF glass of really great lenses that are very gently used, because all these people are wanting to go to the new RF lenses, which I'm not opposed to going to that either, but that's just another kind of alternative, as I can take stepping stones to get where I want to go. I do understand sometimes it's smarter to just go ahead and invest all that money into what you know you're going to be in, but for me, in the situation I'm in, EF works great. And if I wind up not keeping this camera body down the road, EF lenses already work on all of my cinema cameras I already have. Again, no camera is going to do it all. You really have to figure out what camera works for you. And for me, the Canon EOS R was just a perfect B, slash vlogging, all around purpose photography camera. This just works. This is just what I needed. It may not be perfect for you, but I gotta say, find the camera that works for you, that's gonna do majority of what you need. No camera is going to do it all. It just does not happen. Even buying a massive cinema camera that will do a lot of things, it's not gonna be that quick, set up and have anywhere you need to go, and battery will last you all day, because then you gotta start buying V-mount or bigger batteries, and that's gonna cost you hundreds of dollars more than just these little LP6 batteries. It's just, no camera's gonna do it all. So find out the camera that works for you and pick that one up. For me, the Canon EOS R was that one for me, that B cam, that all-around purpose cam, always have in my bag ready to go. Well, that's it for me today, guys. Just doing a little video on why I picked up this camera. I got a lot of messages from people asking, why in God's name did you pick it up? And this is kind of me answering those questions. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below. Do you think I'm a complete moron for picking this up? Do you think it's a great camera? Do you love Canon? Do you hate it? I want to hear your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, with the bell notification on so you don't miss any of my new videos. You guys are amazing. I'm the Iron Giant. I'm out.